and we are here in our live show, Work on Workplace Relations with Aastha. And I want to welcome all of you, waiting for all of you to join in. So, looking forward to welcoming all of you. And till the time you all join in, I quickly want to thank all of you. Last Sunday and a couple of Sundays, how you all join in and you listen and you participate, you share, and then you leave your thoughts and comments there. It really means a lot. And I'm saying it from the depth of my heart, because that gives me an idea whether what I am talking about, what I bring here in this live session, is it making sense or not? Because it's not about me coming here and talking, it's about uh, something which helps you. So it really means a lot when you share your thoughts, when you respond, you participate. I'm really, really grateful for that. Please continue doing that. And for today, also, those of you who join in, welcome once again. At the same time, I would request you to drop in your thoughts, your experiences, your questions, whatever it is that comes to your mind. Don't hold yourself back. जो भी आता है दिमाग में, उसको प्लीज कमेंट बॉक्स में डालिए. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, all the three channels. So I want to welcome all the people, all the three channels to the live session. And thank you so much once again. Really, really want to acknowledge all of you. Lovely. So आज हम किस बारे में बात करने वाले हैं? We are going to be talking about how do you help your people be at their natural best? How do you help your people be at their natural best? So since this is a show about workplace relationships, as a leader, whatever be your the occupation that you are into, if you're a corporate leader or if you are into your own business, you're an entrepreneur, how do you ensure that your people are at their natural best? So first, let's start by understanding ये ज़रूरी क्यों है? Why is it that people need to be at their natural best? I mean, isn't it enough that they are here to do their job? You've hired them for a specific role, and it's just important that they discharge their duties well. And then you give them a decent environment, and it's fine. Yeah. So let's understand that when you have anybody in your organization as part of your team, number one, that one individual impacts the overall energy of the workplace, right? And when I say natural, at the natural best, at their natural best, what does that really mean? It means that the person is being himself or herself, right? He or she experiences that comfort, feels comfortable in the environment to be able to give their 100%, give their best, and do that in a very, very forwarding way. So while they're giving their best, they are growing also. And because when that happens, then there is a beautiful environment created. They positively impact everybody around. Ever experienced such employees, such team members who, because they are operating at their natural best, they are being themselves, they are giving in their heart and soul, their 100%, and what do they bring as a result to the workplace? So I think, I can't emphasize enough on the importance of creating an environment or giving whatever is required so that your people can be at their natural best. It's very, very important. And I think that's what we as leaders also want. Every leader out there, all of you out there, that's what you want for yourself also, to be your natural best. Now let's understand, um, how can you do that? So I have 2 points today. There could be so many other aspects to it, but 2 important points of how you can go about helping your people, supporting your people, so that they can feel safe, they can be their natural best. Okay, so I want to quickly share that. Now let's understand that this is something I've said in the past also, that at the core we all want to be seen and heard. हम सब क्या महसूस करना चाहते हैं? हम चाहते हैं कि हमें सुना जाए, राइट? हम हमें एक्नॉलेज किया जाए दैट यस वी आर देयर, वी आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, राइट? दैट्स अ कोर नीड. We all want, we crave for it, right? And that's exactly what your people also feel. So the two things that I want to share, number one, how you can help them be their natural best is, the first thing is by encouraging authentic sharing. The first thing, encourage authentic sharing. Right now, what does that mean? That means that whether it is a work related challenge, whether it is something that they are individually in themselves feeling, they are feeling disempowered, they are not feeling up to it, they feel that they are not able to give in their 100%, then they have the space where they can walk up to you as the boss, as the leader, and say, boss, today I am not able to operate at my 100%, or I need this time to kind of bounce back, right? Authentically, if they can come and tell you, then imagine how amazing it's going to be. You know, if there is somebody who's doing the work, he's at his best. Because if he's not at his best, then he will walk up to me and he will share. I've given him that kind of a space, right? So encourage that authentic sharing where people can talk to you about how they feel, sharing not just about the work related matters, but sharing about how they are feeling. Because there is something going on in their life, they are messed up, they walk up to you and they tell you. Now, not necessarily you get into the depth of every issue. That's up to you as a leader, what kind of a connect and what is the scope of that connect. You define that. But all I'm saying is, as long as you give them or you encourage that authentic sharing. Now, how do you do that? Three things, three ways. So, by number one, listening to them. I can't emphasize enough the power, the importance, the criticality of listening to people. तो अगर आप चाहते हैं कि आपकी टीम, आपके एम्प्लॉयज ऑथेंटिकली शेयर करें, तो उसके लिए सबसे पहली चीज है दैट यू मस्ट लिसन टू देम. बिकॉज अगर आप उनको सुनेंगे नहीं, तो वो आपके पास एक बार आएंगे, वो दो बार आएंगे, पर फिर उनको लगेगा ये सुनते ही नहीं है. He doesn't listen to me. I don't feel heard. No, I'm not saying you put aside all your work and whole day you're just listening to them. No, of course, that's not what I mean. But the point is, if you listen to them, then they know that yes, sharing makes sense, that my boss wants me to share, right? That's number one. Number two is you share as well, because it's not a one way thing, it's both ways. When you confide in them, whatever, it is some issue at work, and you go and tell them, hey, this is where I'm stuck and I need your support, or today I need this little extra support because I'm little messed up here, or maybe I'm stuck, I don't know what needs to be done here, I want all of you to come and help me. Okay, when you go and authentically share what you're feeling, then they will reciprocate, they will find it more comfortable. Okay, so the second thing is that you also do that, right? And third, you acknowledge somebody who comes and shares authentically. You acknowledge that person, that I really understand. I know it takes a lot of courage, and you are doing that. That's really amazing. You can acknowledge that individual right there. You can acknowledge that individual in a team setup, team meeting, without divulging the details of the conversation between you and your teammate, just by saying that he walked up to me and he shared, and I'm so glad. That encourages the other people to also walk up to you and share authentically, right? So the first part of how do you make your people feel or be their natural best, by letting them or encouraging that authentic sharing. How do you do that? Three things I've told you, right? Now the second part is show trust in them. The second thing, how you can make them feel or be at their natural best, is by showing trust in them. Now, how do you do that? How do you make them feel trusted? Again, I want to share three things here. Okay, just I'll take a moment. Hi, Satish ji. Thank you so much. Thank you for always joining in. And those of you who are here right now live with me, thank you for being here. Great. So how do you show trust in them? So number one, lot of leaders come forward and they say we tend to micromanage. because we're not sure whether the other person is going to deliver the way we desire or the results that are required. So I tend to micromanage, but don't do that, because when you are micromanaging, uh, probably your team, they're not open enough, or maybe they are scared of walking up to you and telling that we don't like this, but that just makes them feel disempowered, right? Just imagine if you are being micromanaged. Has it been done? Has it not been done? How much more time? Oh, where are you stuck? Can you do this in a different way? Okay, what have you done about this part? When you're doing too much of that, the other person feels suffocated and he feels not trusted. Or probably I'm not good enough. I've had leaders with huge experiences and doubting themselves, not feeling good about themselves, just because their bosses are constantly asking them, micromanaging them. So please don't micromanage. If you've got to show your trust in your people, don't micromanage. Now, that does not mean that you just leave them with no supervision at all, but you've got to, figure out a way where you're supervising the whole thing, but maybe you can do it periodically. I'm sure you have your own mechanisms. But the point that I'm making is don't micromanage, have your mechanisms where you're supervising periodically, or have a setup where you know, okay, what's happening, so that suddenly you're not in for shocks and surprises. Okay. And again, the third point is acknowledge. How do you show your trust in your people? How do you show them that you are, all of you, you are trusted? Is by acknowledging. When somebody has done something on their own, when they've taken, made an effort of doing something, then that calls for an acknowledgement. So I think acknowledgement is like a thumb rule. Acknowledge them for as many things as you can. Don't fake it, right? But I'm not talking about appreciation always, I'm talking about acknowledgement, which means just by making an effort, they may have not created the result, but if they are coming to you speaking, that's what you want, acknowledge them. If they are there showing up, doing the work, acknowledge them. So it's not always about, oh, he's created the results, let me acknowledge him. No, 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 that's not what I'm talking about, right? So when you want your people to feel trusted, this is what you can do. The three things that I just shared, right? So I think, uh, hi, Mukta. Do let me know what has been your experience, but I broadly wanted to talk about these two aspects today. How do you let your people be at their natural best? So, quickly to summarize, number one, you encourage authentic sharing. How do you do that? Number one, by listening. Okay. Number two, by you sharing as well, right? And third, by acknowledging. So somebody walks up to you and shares, you acknowledge him, so that that behavior is repeated. And the second thing is, after encouraging authentic sharing, the second is trusting them. Show trust in them. And how do you do that? By not micromanaging, and yet supervising and communicating to them in a way which is forwarding for them. So let's say you're not micromanaging, but there is something that's bothering you. Things are not going in the right direction. Now, doesn't mean, oh, I'm not micromanaging, so let me sit down and wait till the end of it. नहीं, आप बोलिए, आप जरूर बात करिए, पर in a way which is not pulling the other person back, rather it is forwarding the other person. If something is not happening the right way, maybe help him understand where he's going wrong, so that the next time, he's empowered to deliver it the next time. He doesn't repeat the same thing the next time. So communicate in a way which is forwarding, because then that makes the other person feel, my boss trusts me, he's taking the pain to talk to me, and he's talking in a way which makes me feel good, makes me feel heard, listened to, and seen. And then the third part, again, you acknowledge this individual, this employee, this team member of yours, right? That the effort that he's put in. Sometimes maybe he's not created the desired result, but you still acknowledge him. You know he's put in a lot of effort, then you can acknowledge him for just being there, for being who he is, for the commitment that he has to the team and to the organization. Those are just some of the examples. You don't really need a reason to acknowledge, or let me have a strong reason and only then will I acknowledge somebody. No, just go there and acknowledge the person for who he is. Yeah. And I think these two are very, very powerful things. One is encouraging authentic sharing. When the person knows I can just share my heart, no inhibitions, then understand you have addressed lot of his fears, उसके बहुत सारे डर, क्योंकि बिलीफ सिस्टम है वो आपको कॉन्स्टेंटली डर दे रहा है, ऐसा नहीं करूं, ऐसा करूं, ये अच्छा लगेगा, नहीं लगेगा, ये बैकफायर ना कर जाए. तो जब आपने उसके बहुत सारे डर एलिमिनेट कर दिए बाय डूइंग दिस थिंग विच इज फाउंडेशनल, दैट ओके माय बॉस इज रेडी टू लिसन, आई कैन जस्ट वॉक अप टू हिम एंड शेयर, एंड इवन इफ समटाइम्स ही गेट्स अ लिटिल अपसेट, I know he means well. So people start to get that confidence, and that spreads like wildfire, you know. One person feels it, the other will feel it, and if the other gets a little, negative sentiment, the team is there to say, no, 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 you're thinking too much. Boss means well, because you've created that space. And when you're showing trust in them, they can share and they know they are trusted. I think that's super powerful space to be able to create as a leader. Yeah. So if that's what you can provide to your team, I think that is going to really, really impact in a positive way. But like I said, you've got to go there and do it. And these are very, very fundamental, basic things. Don't need too much to be done. You don't need any skill set. It's just about doing this. It's just about having that awareness, bring that mindfulness, and do that. And trust me, then that becomes a culture of the organization. That's what your team does then. That's how they operate with their clients as well, maybe. Right? Hi Raj, hi Siddharth, hi. Thank you for joining in. Okay, Mukta says something here. Leader too needs to work a lot on himself, herself, because at every stage, a lot of patience needed while handling, managing people and things from all directions. Dealing patiently, leader builds a lot of confidence in others. Absolutely. Very, very true. Very true. It 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 I think it goes without saying that work on yourself is the most powerful of it all. And encouraging authentic sharing, and showing trust in people, uh, at the core, at the foundation, this requires the leader to do the work on himself, because only then selflessly you'll be able to give that space. वरना आप ये देखोगे कि बार बार आपका ये जो दिमाग है, आपकी जो पैटर्न्स है, वो बीच में आ जाएंगे. नहीं नहीं, ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा एक्नॉलेज नहीं करना चाहिए. आई हर्ड लीडर्स से, सर पे चढ़ जाएंगे लोग. They take it for granted. They think, oh, we are doing great, and then they will not put in the efforts. And then because of that, they don't acknowledge their team. So, absolutely, great point brought forward, Mukta, that the foundation is, of course, doing the work on yourself. When leaders do the work on themselves, only then can they bring any of this to the table selflessly without judgment. Otherwise, your beliefs are going to interfere every time. So I'm not talking about encourage authentic sharing or showing trust as some mechanical action points. अच्छा मुझे ये 4 sentences बोलने हैं and that will make the other person feel trusted. No, it doesn't happen. People get your vibe, they get your body language, they get, where you're coming from, your context. So you can't fake it, and that's not what I'm talking about. It's about you genuinely being able to do that, and that definitely requires work, surely. So great, thank you for that, Mukta. So thank you, everybody. This is what I had to share today, and I just hope this made sense. The reason I picked this up is because the way I see, as I interact with leaders, I see that workplaces today, where we spend such a huge chunk of our time, and therefore it impacts our mental well-being. These workplace, some kind of a mechanical place with everything so superficial. I'm not saying there's a, I'm not getting into the right and wrong of it, but all I'm saying is that's where the impact is quite disempowering on both the leaders, the team, because you're so busy operating in your learnt way, the same way, and you have no time to do the work that is needed. Probably you don't even have the access that anything can be done about it. And that's where the pain continues, it just keeps getting worse. And when you realize, I mean, yeah, when you realize, you do the work, of course, but I think that's where we need to really pause, or if not pause, alongside doing our work, creating whatever we are creating at the workplaces, it's important to reflect on what's happening really, what's really happening here. And is this how I want to lead? Is this how I want to continue working? Is this how I want to grow up the ladder? Because it's only going to strengthen, become more and more massive, whatever you are currently nurturing unknowingly, right? Do you want that? So I think somewhere you need to pause and be mindful of what's the impact on you as a leader, and what would you really want to create for yourself and for your team. Yeah. So, and I think that's where I really wish every leader, and when I say leader, it just doesn't mean people at the top, anybody who's impacting lives, who's influencing, who's out there to inspire people, किसी भी तरह से, किसी भी कैपेसिटी में अगर आप ये कर रहे हो तो आप एक लीडर हो, right? और अगर आप लीडर हो, then I think it's very very important that you get mindful about this and you do the work that you because you unknowingly, that's the influence and the impact you're creating on other lives as well. Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm going to see you next Sunday with yet another topic. And meanwhile, those of you who listen to this stream later, please do put in your comments, your thoughts, any experience that comes to your mind. Please feel free to share, because I think as we share, sharing is very powerful, authentic sharing is powerful, and that also gives me some food for thought. So I would really, really love to hear from all of you. And I would really love to, support in any way that I can. So if there's anything that you're dealing with, or a question that comes to your mind with regards to what we've talked about, or otherwise, please feel free to drop in a message to me on LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're connected with me. Please do that, and I'll be happy to revert. So, wishing you lots of love, lots of happiness for this week ahead, till the time we meet on Sunday again. Take care. Bye bye. Mukta, your closing message. Resonate with you. Old mental patterns interfere. Leader wants to selflessly contribute. Working on the self is of utmost importance. Absolutely, Mukta. I think that's where, I absolutely don't believe in telling part of it that, okay, do these. There have been, since you've raised this point, lot of leaders, they say, please let us know what are those 5 things that we can do, right? And in my master class that I do, I've had people, the leaders, come back to me and say that, oh, we were expecting you will give me some actionable items on how to work on these strained relationships, workplace relationships. 1 2 3, at least give me one action that, okay, this is one thing that you need to focus on. And I always explain, I always say, telling doesn't work. If only telling worked, then we could have transformed the world. But the foundation needs to be created, which is not weak, I would say it's missing. And that's what belief system is all about. That's what doing the work on yourself is all about. So action is never a challenge. It's just the work that needs to be done. And once you do the work, you'll bring up actions, the most powerful actions. You'll turn around your world. So absolutely. Thank you for that, Mukta. So finally, bye bye. I just would love talking to all of you here, and I can go on and on. Thank you, all those of you who are here. Thank you for joining in and participating. Bye bye. See you next Sunday, same time, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Please go ahead, join me every Sunday because that is what makes it worthwhile.